Hey, welcome to our podcast. My name is Keaton. I am the director and cinematographer for the Back Here music video.
I'm Eunith. My real name is Matthew, and I wrote the song Back Here. And I am eternally grateful that I have people like Keaton to help me make a video for it.
Yeah, so after 3 music videos, we decided to make a 4th one, and possibly even more. I think we're going to do some more after this, just based off the results we've seen so far. It just keeps getting better and better, I feel, every time.
I hope so. We hold ourselves to a high standard here.
Yes. It's going to be hard to top this one, but we're here to talk about how we did it, how we brought it to life, and all the secrets that you might not know about. So we have a few questions that we want to go over, but I just want to say that before we jump into the questions that this has been the biggest production that we've ever done, that I have ever done in my entire career as a filmmaker and music video producer. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's just a great example of what can be achieved with the right people, the right resources, mm-hmm. and the right planning. So we're here to break that all down for you and tell you how we did it all. So
it's
Matthew?
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot for sure. And we don't have the time to talk about every single little scene that we filmed. We just want to talk about kind of the highlights and mm-hmm. the challenges that we faced, the obstacles, and our workflow, because it was very interesting to do this compared to any other music video that we've done.
Yeah, and if you're watching instead of listening, you can probably see a lot of the costumes and props here in the room with Keaton and I right now, and we'll do our best to remember to point to them and as we're talking about the scenes to which they relate. But feast your eyes upon everything that was involved.
Yes, every outfit that Matthew wore, every prop that I created for Matthew to use in these scenes.
Jeez.
Almost everything. I mean, there's a few things that got scrapped just because it's like a one-time thing, like the wings and...
Yeah, we're not going to bring a bunch of chicken wings onto here.
Well, we got the hot ones last dab back there.
Yeah, we actually have the real hot sauce there, courtesy of our friend Manu.
Okay, let's jump right into this with a few questions. The first one is, how did we think of these characters for this music video? We have 37 characters in total. I'm sure they had a deeper meaning, or did they?
I mean, what? I think a lot of them that were the first ones that we were able to think of were really quick, and they came to mind for both us and our friends who were with us in the room when we talked about planning this music video. A lot of those ones, like hot ones, like an action getaway driver, some of those immediately came to all of us, and we said, what's great about these is that they're such strong tropes that any major A-list actor has probably played a role like that or been involved in a film like that before. But then we decided that it would be a lot funnier. I mean, truly, not like it'll be better, it'll be deeper. No, it'll just be funnier if we find some deeper cuts and we find some niche genres or niche roles that an actor would play. And that's how we got things like the clown, I think. That's how we got things like... maybe the emotional parent embracing their child, like really crying out. We decided that we really wanted something that screamed a lot more like, oh man, they're so going for the Oscar. Like if I could have gained 100 pounds and just been a total mess, like classic going for the Oscar, I would have done that too. But we just didn't have time, and there's not enough food in the world to get us there in 2 months.
Yeah, and I think there is one character that acts as the foundation of this entire concept, and that's the first character we see in the music video, the celebrity. We've called this character this scene the celebrity interview. Yeah. And that's based off those GQ, is that
GQ, I think Vogue, maybe Vanity Fair. They have these interviews online that you would always see some major actor and they're talking about their past roles. And I thought, man, what would be so funny is if those movies just didn't exist and you had Nick Cage or Danny DeVito up there being like, oh yeah, I really remember. No, or sorry, hold on, here we go. Yeah, I really remember a role. And it was just made up, and it just wasn't a real movie, and it was just so silly and so stupid. And that set us off on the train of oh man, just put this actor at the beginning from the celebrity interview, just put him in anything, no matter how ridiculous it is. And we just went wild after that.
Yeah, of course. And what else? A few more details about pre-production. These characters were also decided upon the convenience at our disposal.
Yeah.
We didn't want to think of anything that was too unachievable. We wanted it to be realistic for us based on who we can get to help us.
Yes.
Locations that we had here in town. We didn't want to like drive anywhere too far.
Yeah, like we are within driving distance of snowy mountains and the beach, like the ocean, but we didn't want to do that to ourselves because that would mean that we had to do it on a weekend and that it would be that entire day just dedicated to what, one scene maybe have, you know, shoehorn another scene in there. But not to sell it too short, it's saying making sure that it's achievable for us is still a pretty big range, because when Keaton busted out the green screen for a couple of scenes, I had no idea how incredible things were going to look in the end, because where were we going to find an evil villain's concrete lair? Well, you found it online and you put it behind me in the swivel chair with my cat. So there's a lot that's achievable even without having to get too crazy. I think some of the things that we scrapped were things like a Star Wars or a space scene would have just been so involved with props and costume, and something like a war movie would have just been really, really involved with, again, the costume and then finding a location. We might have had to drive just a little farther to somewhere way out in the fields to make it feel like, oh, they're on some battlefield. And it would have been a lot of setup for what ultimately would have amounted to 10 seconds, I think is what each.
Yeah, we put a ton of effort into all these scenes regardless, but we wanted it to be as low budget as possible.
Yeah.
Because this is just a passion project between all of us. And yeah, I do have all these lights and equipment that I've accumulated over the years. But besides that, when it comes to the props and the costume design, we try to thrift all the clothing that you didn't already have.
Thrift master. Anytime we went to a thrift store, I remember you asked me like, okay, wait, so what did you end up finding? And I'd be like, well, I think maybe this jacket could work. And you're like, okay. So I found this for the chef, I found this for the clown, I found this for the teacher and everything. Yeah. So you're very good at thrifting. You have a very, very quick eye to go, that will work as well. And
thank you. Yeah, so we definitely had to thrift for, I don't know how many characters, but it feels like half of the characters were thrifted. Yeah. The other half, we had clothing provided by myself because we are similar in size.
Very fortunate.
And Matthew had a few of his own clothing that he wore for the scene, such as the Hot One scene, the celebrity interview scene, the Web's Most Asked Questions scene. So
yeah, even the villain, I think, like that was my jacket. We just happen to have clothing like that lying around. Is just thank goodness.
Yeah, because it all adds up. Even if you spend $10 on each character, when you have 37 characters, it's like, oh, okay, we're getting close to $500.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay, so what was the first scene that we filmed for this music video?
The very first scene that we filmed for this music video.
Mid-August.
Yeah. So it was still really hot in town. And we filmed, if I'm correct, it was the only one that was on a different lens, right?
There's two.
Oh, there was two?
Yeah.
Oh no. What was the first one then?
So the first scene that we filmed was a throwback to our Cost of Waiting music video.
That's right. I forgot that was the first one. I was going to say a different one. Wow.
Yeah, because we made this list. We had this whole entire list since the very beginning. And we decided, okay, what can we do like super quick, right away? What do we have all the resources for?
What do we know how to do?
Yeah, and what can we do in a lunch break? Because
it really was. Middle of the day.
So that was our first scene. We just set up almost identical to how we had it before in the Cost of Waiting music video, so that we can get our boy Bobby, making a cameo in this thing, because I think that music video holds a special place in all of our hearts.
Yep.
So that was the first scene that we filmed. And you're probably thinking of the motorcycle dude scene.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, we had three scenes with that lens.
I am not even thinking of the motorcycle scene.
Yeah, it was Cost of Waiting scene was first, and then after that, we filmed the motorcycle dude scene.
Yep.
And then after that, we jumped right into the Wheel of Fortune and Mafia Boss scene. So actually four.
Wow. I was completely mistaken. My bad. I thought it was just the Mafia Boss. I thought, the Godfather looking guy. I really thought it was just that on the other lens, but you were so right. We filmed all those other ones on the other lens. Wow.
Yeah, and I bought a new lens because I felt like there was going to be a handful of these scenes that were going to be in low light, dark situations, and my current lens at the time would not cut it. So I needed something that was better and brighter. So Shout out to Sigma. I finally got your lens with the Metabone speed booster. It's so good. It's like I got a whole new camera. It's incredible.
It's been wonderful. It has been beautiful.
Oh yeah, and for anyone who's wondering what we filmed this entire music video on, so it's the Sigma 18 to 35. I think that's the range. Mm-hmm. And I have the Metabone speed booster on my GH5. It seems like a cutting edge top of the line camera when we use it, but it's actually a few years old. You know, people are using the Blackmagic cameras now, and if you can afford it, the Reds or the
Ari.
Ari.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Sony C series. I see things. I see things on the internet, and I don't claim to be a cinematographer.
But yeah, just get new lenses. Don't upgrade your camera. You can use the same camera forever.
Yeah, they always say
as long as you buy something that was made like after 2017, you're probably good. All right, next question.
Yeah.
So what was our attitude going into this project, and then how did it change over time? So I want to start this off by saying, this list did not seem as big as it felt, making all these productions. I'm like, yeah, we can fit a couple scenes in a day and, pump these out day after day.
So we thought.
Yeah, so we thought. And then the first week of production, we did a weekend where it had the motorcycle dude. Well, that was a Friday. And then we had the Mafia Boss and the Wheel of Fortune scene, like all compacted together. And then I just felt like so exhausted the day afterwards. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is too much work to do in such a short amount of time. And I had this really unrealistic deadline expectation of like late or like the very end of September.
Yeah, like September 26th or something.
Yeah, because we were doing one music video a month. That was our rate at the time.
We would release a song. I'd release a song, and then 2 weeks later, we'd be able to release a video. Not that we needed to stick to that by any means. It's just what we had been doing. So once it came around to this, we're like, well, I guess, the end of September, because the song was released in the middle of September, and that we quickly reevaluated that. Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know this, but we have full-time jobs that we have to do during the week, and it's not like we were just meeting every day to work on this music video. We had to space out and give ourselves time to recharge and relax and plan for the next scene. So we were spending basically every single weekend and most weeknights, late nights, trying to get these scenes done. And somehow we made it work. And I think it was thanks to the help of our incredible friends. Shout out to Ryan, Tatiana, Bree, and Manu. You were the OG group that stuck with us nearly the entire process of this music video, and we had so many other friends that helped us out. So
we are so incredibly like wow. What I will take it upon myself now. I will say it here, like on camera, like I will, when asked, volunteer to help other folks with music videos and creative projects like this, because when you receive help like that, at least for me, I think that's my love language, is acts of service. So when people do that for me, it's just like, I am forever indebted to you. And it makes us feel so fortunate to have people like that.
Yeah, damn. For sure. Okay. All right, let's talk about our favorites. So what was your favorite scene to film, Matthew?
Okay, so I knew that we were going to want to talk about this, so I had marked 2 down, okay? So my favorite scenes to film. This doesn't mean it's that I think it's the best scene in the video, okay? But when I look back and I say, man, that day, I could relive that. Even if it was a lot of work, even if it was stressful, even if it was right after work, I could relive that day again. And there are 2 that they're really tied up there for me. That would be Hot Ones and the Party Clown.
Oh, those are great choices.
I think it was so funny.
You got a strand of hair on your glasses. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. You're good.
It was just so funny. The first time that I saw you come out in that horrible bald cap, I lost it. I laughed. I could not stop myself from laughing. I was laughing so loudly, just gasping for air. It was the funniest thing I'd seen in person in a very long time. That was so funny. And right then I knew that including that scene was one of the best choices we'd made. So as we're doing it, our hands are getting dirty from the wings. Some of them are legitimately spicy. And we're eating them and filming in between. Tatiana was spraying me with water so that I get progressively sweatier on camera. It was so ridiculous. I loved it. And then the party clown, we started...
Well, hold on. I have something to say about that scene. Okay. So we knew I was going to look that way. Like that was on paper. Like I'm going to look like a low budget Sean Evans.
Yep.
And it's going to look crappy. And that was... at the time, the best bald cap I can find from a Spirit Halloween store, and it was just like completely different shade of skin color. Maybe if you have the skin color of a minion, maybe that would fit you, but
it was so bad.
Yeah. And then I was doing my own makeup for the facial hair. And looking back at the footage, I realized that I didn't get low enough. It was like supposed to go past my jawline, but just like slightly above my jawline. But it was funny too because I also made a prop wood board for the wings to go on out of cardboard. And I'm like, oh, it's like a similar color. I think it'll be fine. But when you watch that scene, just like the table is cut in half, Matthew's side, it just looks spot on, looking like a Hot Ones, shot. But then when you cut to me, it's just like, oh, this is a little bit
like what cheap. Alternate universe?
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to steam the bald cap because it had been folded up in its packaging. So when we took it out of the packaging, it had all these creases in it that looked like head wrinkles. And we were like, oh, we can use the steamer on it. But it didn't get it out. It just made it really wet because of the steam. So it just looked like a sweaty bald cap then for the next, 5 or 10 minutes until it air dried out. And we just made do with it.
There was no saving that.
Man, so funny. So funny. Yeah. And the other one I would say is the party clown. Yes. I think we started that day by putting me in makeup. Not started the day, but we had already filmed a scene that day. And we ran back to my place. We tried to figure out what the clown makeup was even going to look like. It wasn't 100% planned. We're sitting there, you're applying makeup to me and we're doing the different parts. And we go, okay, I think we're good. Now let's go shoot the scene. And I'm like in a car because we go over to a friend's house. I'm in the car like in clown makeup. And then after we shoot that, we shot the other scenes of the woman inside the house with her husband. And I'm still in clown makeup just the entire time. I'm in clown makeup until I get home that day. And we're working with little kids who sometimes, working with little kids, you don't know if they're going to be overwhelmed and it's going to be too much for them. But they loved what was happening. They were laughing the whole time. At one point, like they were holding hands. And it was like we were at like a real kid's birthday party. And it was just so freaking cute. And then we let go of the balloon and got that little effect to go so perfectly on the second take. I thought that was going to take forever. I'm like, get ready. I'm going to be blowing up this heart-shaped balloon. Oh, kind of like the one, where is it? Over there. Right by Keaton. Yeah. I was thinking, I'm going to be blowing this thing up like 10 times, like just letting go and praying. Like, hopefully it goes in a cool way. Just a great day overall.
And the first take was good too. We could have used the first take, but we're just like, let's try again. And then just like, whoa, that was perfect.
Wow. Yeah. It was like a cartoon. Yeah. It was like animated. What about you? What were the favorite ones?
I would say the Mafia Boss scene is my personal favorite. Just because that was the first scene that we really transformed the set and yourself to be like totally different. A few notes about that scene that stick out to me is that we wanted to have those Venetian blinds to be in the background. So we decided to film this at Matthew's house just for convenience, but I didn't realize that he had curtains. I mean, I did realize this. So with that in mind, I just ripped the Venetian blinds from my own bedroom and I brought them over and we just rigged them up against your curtains and made it seem like they were there the whole time.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. We kept lowering them with little chain metal ties that you have so it would be in the frame correctly behind the character, me. And then we had to adjust the height at which I was sitting behind that desk. So we were changing chairs and then did we put like a pillow on me or something? I don't know. It was all the minute adjustments till once we saw what was in frame looked exactly how you wanted it. And then we looked at the 5 seconds of test footage and we were like, oh man, this is so
we were watching, or me specifically, I was watching scenes from The Godfather to try to recreate the lighting to make sure it's really dark and dramatic over your eyes to make it look more ominous. So we had the lighting set up that way, and it didn't really show up that well on camera, but we had white paint in your hair to give some grays.
I think it showed up on camera. If you didn't notice it, go back and look at it again.
It was a lot more noticeable in person, and I thought the makeup turned out really well. We didn't do any aging makeup, but we had the mustache makeup to make it a bit more dense because you didn't have time to grow out your facial hair. It was very short notice.
And we were filming scenes like every other day. Sometimes actually most of the time, multiple days in a row and then a 2-day break, okay? Mm-hmm. So there's only so long that my facial hair could get before we'd be like, well, time to shave again for some scene where like a kid in high school is not going to have a beard. Well, me in high school is not going to have a beard. We all had kids in high school who had beards, and that was epic. Dang.
Yeah, but that scene is my favorite because it really showed the potential we could do with other scenes, how easy it was to transform a room to be whatever you wanted it to be, and with just a few key makeup choices, we can really transform your look along with the outfits and the performance as well. I think.
Oh, please, please.
I think that really helps. You did such a funny impression.
Well, we used a Tyra tip from America's Next Top Model. One season, some girl was complaining about not having full lips, and she was telling Tyra, how am I supposed to look like I have full lips on camera? And Tyra goes, really? You don't know? Take a Q-tip and then take off all the cotton from the end of it. So like maybe get it a little wet, take it all off, and shove that up inside of your lip to make it kind of stick out a little bit more. And I was like, oh, perfect. So I took Q-tip ends and I shoved them down here at the bottom of my cheeks to give me more of that bulldoggy type of look that Marlon Brando had done with prosthetics of Hollywood. But we use cotton balls of indie filmmaking.
Yeah. All right, next question is, what was the easiest scene to film? We might have different answers for this.
Okay.
My answer would be the coming of age character.
Oh my gosh, that was one of mine.
Yeah?
I'm 100% serious. Look, I put easy next to it. I wrote easy next to that character. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that one felt so quick and effortless.
Oh my God.
I had rented this suction cup car mount for my camera.
It's super cool.
It has 3 suctions you put onto the surface of the car or the windshield, and it just
like rods
grips
to stabilize
down,
there.
and it locks down the camera so you can put it anywhere on the outside of the car.
Yep.
And we watched a quick YouTube tutorial on how to do it. That took us maybe 5 minutes. And I'm like, ready? All right, let's do this.
It was really a YouTube tutorial, too.
Yeah. Shout out to YouTube tutorials.
And you just hit record. And
we just all hopped into Manu's car. She drove, and I was in the backseat with Matthew just out of frame. And I had the song playing on loop so that you can just keep saying that lyric over and over again. And then within about 5 minutes, I feel we got it. I'm like, oh, yes, that was it. That was a take.
Yeah.
Let's go home.
Like we thought we were going to be driving through my neighborhood like a bunch, and then all of a sudden we just do a few takes, and then I hear you go like, oh man, oh this is so good, oh no, that's it. I'm like, wow, did we really, really get it? And then we just reviewed the footage, and that one, I can't believe, I was going to say, that was among my easy choices. Actually, I only have 3 that I would have said easy. I think the motorcycle dude was also easy, because you knew where you wanted to go, so we weren't hunting around for a location, we went directly there, and your brother is good at riding a motorcycle. So he came in as a stunt double, and it was so fast. And then the other one was, I would say, the emotional parent embracing the child.
That was in mind for me as well.
Like we were surprised by how good the lighting already kind of looked. And my nephew
zero effort into set decoration. Just walked into your nephew's bedroom. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I love the way this looks. Let's just open those blinds. Okay, perfect. Record. All right, 5 minutes later, we're done.
And working with kids, again, can be hit or miss. But we were blessed with great children to work with in this. Because my nephew, he asked me once, he was like, well, do I have to do this? And I told him honestly, I was like, no, you don't. But come on, it's going to be so easy, and I know you're going to be good at this. I have no reason to believe he's going to be good at this. I've never seen him in a music video before, okay? But he delivered. I told him exactly what to do, and he did it exactly. And it just a couple of takes, and then you said, actually, give me more drama. I really want to see like pain in your face. We're like, all right, cool. And then we did that one last take. Done. Nice and easy.
Yes. Okay. I didn't really make a note of this, but I'm sure I can think of what was the most difficult scene to film. Do you have an answer for that?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things that are, in the running for being the most difficult scene. First off, I am not particularly physically fit, so anything that requires a lot of physical activity, if I have to do it over and over again, I can get tired quickly. So the tennis player scene, having to serve that ball like 50 times was pretty tiring. Once we hit about 30, I could feel my arm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this where it looks good. I can still swing, but I'm kind of going to look like I'm tired. Same thing with the fitness, like 80s VHS fitness scene. We were just doing one arm for that, so this whole arm just got sore from throwing this dumbbell back and forth. But
I have a funny story about that scene real quick. So we knew we wanted that scene to look like it was retro, so we have our trustworthy camcorder that we use for behind the scenes for this whole entire project. And I had that set up. I was getting the shot framed and everything, but I didn't realize that the battery wasn't charging that morning when I was charging the battery. And by the time we were just about ready to start recording, I get the warning icon saying that the battery's about to die. And I'm like, all right, turn it off right now. All right, okay, Matthew, do you know what you want to do? And he's like, yes. We've been practicing, you know the moves. We have a plan.
Real moves from an old like jazzercise video too.
So we get prepared, turn on the camera, hit record. We have like 2 minutes.
Yep, max.
We get the take. Nailed it. And then it dies.
It just died. We were like, maybe we'll get like some extra stuff. No, it died immediately right after that. It was like, well, we don't have an option. The other one that I would say, kind of in that same vein, is the romantic rain scene. It was the end of summer by the time we were working on this, so it was starting to get cold. And getting myself drenched in water each time was like progressively more and more difficult to do. So that one became harder, and because we had been shooting so much water into the air and then onto the lawn was getting like juicy. And when I would run in, I would sort of like sink into the grass a little bit and start to get like mud on the back of my shoes. And I was like, oh man, it's just getting messy. Oh boy. But I think you'll agree with me. The most difficult scene, bar none, the absolute most difficult scene to film was one with my damn cat.
Oh.
That was the
I wasn't going to say that, but yes, that was difficult.
It was with my cat. My cat is such a beautiful specimen, but I never thought he was cut out for Hollywood, and now I know he's definitely not cut out for it. It was so difficult trying to get him to work well with us. I had to first get my like rotation in the chair down for that scene, and then for him to not freak out in between each take and want to run away. I had to kind of like hold him down while I was petting him, or else he'd try and just jump around, and if he tried to squirm and flip up, he'd try and swat at me with his paws and hiss at me. Oh man, that scene should have taken us 1 hour for everything, and we would have been done that night. And it took like 3.5 hours, I feel. That was...
Maybe 2.5.
Yeah, either way.
And that's also due to applying the whole makeup process. Took a little bit of time.
That cat.
Yeah, I would actually say for me, the convention panel scene was very difficult.
You're right.
Not just because it took a lot of effort the day of, but there was having to communicate with all those people.
Yes. To
be in the scene with us and let them know like what to wear, what to bring. Then I had to create the prop nameplates for everyone.
Oh yeah.
And that was another green screen setup, so we had to set up the green screen, get the wrinkles out.
Yep.
We had to make the microphone props the day before.
The night before.
Yeah, the night before. And I think that was a total of 6, maybe 5.
Yeah,
I think there was 5 people on the panel total. So we had to make that. So it required a lot of effort before we even started filming the scene.
And then even on the day of, getting the lighting right, once we were inside of the theater, was just like, whoa! So, you're very right. That one was where we put in a lot of sweat and a lot of time and a lot of work. But as far as raw frustration, I think the cat takes it.
Yeah. Okay, we're almost done with this, Matthew. We have another question, and we got to wrap this up with any last thoughts. So, I'll be answering this one. What was the most expensive scene to film?
Oh, then you would know.
I wish I didn't tell you because I was curious to see what you would think.
Actually, I don't remember. If you told me like 30 minutes ago.
Well, you would think something complicated like the operating room scene would require a lot of budget, or maybe the what else do we have that's expensive? The cowboy scene, a lot of costume design, podcast room, got all those microphones and everything.
Yep, like the convention.
But no, it was the getaway driver scene that cost the most money.
That's right, now I remember.
Yeah, and that was just because I had to rent that suction cup camera car mount. I'll let you know how much it costs later. It's not gonna bust your wallet or anything.
Break the bank.
But compared to all these other scenes that we thrifted for, that we made these cheap props for, that just cost the most. And we also had a few other things like the fake blood. Yeah. And we thrifted a few articles of clothing for that, such as this shirt that was a little bit more expensive on the, compared to the thrifted other things.
It was like fashionable thrifty, I will say.
Yeah, and we had Emil wearing another shirt that I've thrifted. Well, actually, I already own that one, so it doesn't really count towards the cost.
Cross it off the budget. Let me see here, I'm trying to think of some of these. This leather vest was an incredible find for the cowboy, like in terms of thrifts, but it also was not a cheap one because it's like a leather vest. It's incredible.
Yeah, shout out to Discovery Shop here in town.
One of the classiest thrift places you can go.
And also shout out to Rad off of Union and Bernard.
Yes.
They are my go-to thrift store. They have such a great selection there.
Yeah.
And then Goodwill. Goodwill's all right, sometimes.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, thrift these days, so sometimes Goodwill is picked dry just because so many people went and they've gotten what they want out of it. So, and I'm happy for that. But if we can't get there first, then darn, that's unfortunate for us.
Yeah. I think I want to talk about some of the props that we have back here that we use for some of these scenes. Oh, this is a favorite of mine, the thick slice pizza car topper that we created. Or I did all the work actually for that. And this is a little Easter egg. So the phone number at the bottom, I have no idea what that dials to. I just wanted it to spell out THICCCC when you enter the numbers on the
Thick.
Yeah.
Thick.
And then I just put lights inside of it to make it light up on top of the car.
Yeah.
Some other fun props that we had were the Google search board.
I love that.
We had a few other questions or searches that we had to eliminate to get to this point. I think here, how about we show some of the other ones while we're here? We even have the tape still on it.
Oh my gosh! Hey, look! You guys get to experience something. I didn't know we were gonna do this. Okay, cool. So I gotta peel it this way. Oh no.
Yeah, we had these pre-peeled during our filming so that we wouldn't have this issue. Try to get one off, Matthew. You can kind of read it already, so let's get a zesty one in there.
Okay, here's one.
No.
Instrumental. I'm just joking. Hold on. I'll get one. Here we go. Okay. So here's one that I would have peeled off.
Yeah, and I think these are Matthew's suggestions.
What is it?
Does Eunith have beef with Jay-Z?
No, I don't have beef with Jay-Z. Like, stop spreading that rumor. Stop spreading that rumor on Twitter right now to all of your friends and everyone on the internet. Wow, I can't believe this.
Let's get one more.
Okay, here we go. Does Eunith have a bench warrant? Nice. Not that you know about, and not that the judge needs to know about.
Yeah, and we had some other fun props that I had to print out some text for. We have instrumental break.
Yep.
Iconic. We have... we can talk about this. It's a bit fragile right now, Matthew, but we have our prop gun here. Very convincing from the front, but however, when you look at the backside, it is actually just a wall mount that you... It's
a piece of wall decor, people. It is not a real gun.
So we had to be careful to not to show the backside while filming that scene.
Yeah, we had to angle ourselves a certain ways and say, well, I'm going to be holding it in my left hand then the entire time in order to show the side of it, which is convenient because I'm left-handed. So
yeah, and then here is... I think you got a big kick out of this scene. It come together, but I knew the shape that I wanted to create, so I just went to the dollar store and I found some materials that I could break apart and put back together in this orientation to create what appears to be a convention panel microphone.
Yeah, speaking to it. Say something.
Yes. Like... Testing. Hello. I am the director and all that. Blah blah blah. But this is just a Swiffer.
Like
mop bottom.
Yeah, not like the pads, but like the bottom portion of it.
Yeah. You just like stick the cleaning part onto there, and then the black rod part is just part of a black clothing hanger, and then we have just a piece of a black sock that I glued to the top here, and then gaff taped it into the Swiffer parts, and you got yourself a microphone.
Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. That was great. Like he really does have a gift for creating props.
And then
like
we have
knowing how to
our
deconstruct them and make them out of other
poolside
stuff.
chatting scene, sun reflector that I just made out of some reflective paper I got from Michael's.
So pretty. So pretty. Very era appropriate with that shape and everything. I think we were looking at reference films and reference scenes all the time for things from the 50s or 60s or 70s. And yeah, I mean, if we saw it and we thought, okay, cool, we can achieve it. We can make it happen. It was so good. The last thing I wanted to say, it won't take too long, is just that if you ever embark on a project like this, or if you're ever helping people with projects like this, think up of things on the spot when you are filming. A lot of what we did was not planned 100%. We did not know exactly what the scenes were going to look like before we got there. We knew kind of the angle that we wanted, like in a storyboard fashion of, well, it'll be this type of shot. But we didn't know all the jokes that we would put in there. We didn't know all the little things that we would do, all the behaviors that I would do as the character, or what might be in the scene sometimes, until not even day of, but even the moment. We in the classroom scene with the high school students all throwing things at the professor, we thought that originally there was going to be one ball of paper that hits the professor. And then someone was like, why don't we all just throw like a ton of paper at him, paper planes and everything? And we're like, okay, cool. And then you said, all right, now we have to film you as a student, go shave, come back, get in the student costume, and then it needs to look like, oh, you were the one, but how do we show it? We said, well, what if I have like an entire lineup of paper airplanes on my desk? And I'm like, what? No, not me. Like that decision was made right then and there. And we just got to folding paper airplanes quickly for like a minute, and then we filled up the desk. All those type of ideas can happen right there in the moment. And like improvising and writing on the spot, I think is so fun and invigorating, and it helps everybody stay really energized on set. So we never felt like, man, this is a drag, except for the cat scene.
Yeah, definitely have all the big details planned out ahead of time in terms of like the lighting or the props that you're going to be using, so that you have that figured out without having to think about it. But it's really fun to improvise and come up with your own original actions to really bring these characters to life.
Yeah,
I think we did that a lot for the chef character as well.
Yes.
We did that for the pizza delivery guy. I mean, you could almost say that for every single character here. And I think it just added so much character to the music video itself, so much personality, that's a better way of saying it, so much personality to these characters. Yeah.
Yeah. You brought it to life.
Yes, thank you.
Keaton.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised at how good this turned out. I feel like it just keeps getting better and better the more we practice and work on these music videos. And I want to talk real quick about our final scene that we filmed to close this off, and that was the operating room scene.
Yep.
We had Matthew as the lead doctor. That's the term, right? Lead doctor?
Yeah. Doctor, chair one, or first chair. Like a flutist.
And then we had Bree and Tatiana and myself as the nurses in that scene. And I love how high budget it looks. And all you need is just a few monitors with some x-rays and stats on screen.
Oh, yeah.
And
just
cheap,
stock
very
footage.
cheap operating gowns from Amazon, some gloves and masks that we all have these days.
Yeah.
And,
We're like, oh, we need the masks. Ha ha.
And then just like a white sheet over. So you never saw what was under the sheet. Tatiana did. I just had a sweater that I stuffed with socks, and a pillow as the torso. And then I had some sweatpants that I stuffed with even more socks.
Those were actual. Okay, because I was wondering, how does he have like the shape of legs even underneath here? It was sweatpants stuffed. Okay, cool. Very legit.
Just be as creative as possible to make your ideas come to life, because we definitely cut some corners to make whatever was in front of the camera look legit, even though when you like take a peek around the corner, it might look like something else.
Looks so ridiculous. And I think that that's also kind of the magic and the aura that you get when something is a little bit comedic. I think that we forgive ourselves if something doesn't look exactly like that scene from Grey's Anatomy or ER or something. At the end of the day, like, we are having a lot of fun, and if you laugh, we're like that means a lot to us. If you love the music, that means a lot to us. If you cried because you thought, oh my gosh, what's happening in the operating room? cool.
I
Wow.
thought you were gonna say the party clown like cried about that scene.
Oh, if you cried about the party clown, then you got it. Then you understood.
Yes.
then you know. You know what it's like.
Yeah. I keep wanting to add more and more to this. We'll wrap this up in just like 2 minutes. Hold on. It may seem extremely random to see a Wheel of Fortune scene pop up in this music video, and the whole reason why that was a choice for one of our characters is because when we were editing our One Another music video, at the end of our editing sessions, we would just relax and play Wheel of Fortune on the Switch together, and we had such a great time. It was just like our favorite thing to do.
It was so much fun. It honestly is a great game. You don't think that you're going to enjoy playing a game show on like a video game console, but try it because it's awesome. It was awesome.
It's real money.
No, it's not.
But I just love playing that game so much that I'm like, oh, we got to have that in the music video. And nobody else like knew how to make it happen, but I'm just like, oh, I can make it happen. I got a green screen. I can like edit out and edit in the details that we need, and we made it happen. Yeah. And it looks legit, and I love the way it turned out. And I love the reactions from the contestants on your side, because they're just like total cliche AI people.
They're AI, they're bots.
Yeah. It worked out so well, and that part makes me laugh every time I see it.
Yeah, it is really great. It is a very silly thing for us to include it, and I think that knowing that we had a scene like that was a great way to set the tone, that we weren't going to be too uppity about this, and we weren't going to try and be too badass, we weren't going to try and be too cool, we were going to be guys who have fun, you know, with a bunch of friends who like to have fun with us, and that is the greatest gift of all.
Well, Matthew, great job once again on your performance and making an awesome song to complement this music video. Or is it the other way around? I'm not sure. But it is the other way around. I made an awesome music video to complement this song.
No. Cheers.
Oh, yes.
To our everlasting health and wellness, and
cheers.
To all the tears that we didn't shed.
What the heck are we going to do next?
Yeah, what are we going to do next?
Stay subscribed, and you will find out. In the future, more music videos.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.